it's a CEO bench, so usually people want to assume that all CEOs are over-learned and stuff like that. So I will change the script this time around. I consider myself a certified hustler.
If I'm looking to know who you are you Ugandan? If yes, what are the values that define you as Ugandan?
That's the easiest question, I think, to answer. I am a typical Lao man from a Rute North, in a place called Ogur, and where I will be laid to rest is in a village called Agweng. So if you go there and you just say Otoa Tony, they won't really know me because my father is also Otoa Tony. You have to ask for Junior, and when you're asking, you have to ask with an accent. Junior Tikwene, where is Junior? And they will identify me. But I'm typically Ugandan, only Ugandan, from Lira. I pride myself from being from Lira. Earlier on, I was joking and saying I'm the coolest Lango south of Karuma. When you cross Karuma, there are so many. But when you're down the south after Karuma, I think I'm number one.
Wow. Well, now that you know Tonyo Toa is Ugandan, and of course, what are the values that define you as a Ugandan?
I think it's the love for country, love for nation. You know, truth be told, the country is in a lot of, it's a crisis. Leadership crisis, economic crisis, social crisis. There's so many mismatching areas. But at the end of the day, it's home. You know, you cannot run and abandon your home because of the issues in your home. I think that then creates an opportunity for you to do something to change what's happening and what you see as a crisis. So in terms of what I see as a value, or what I take out of that for me, I think is just the love for country, the need to serve country the best way I can. And I mean, I can't say I can change everything, but the little I can do to create a difference, I think is more meaningful.
Wow. Mr. Tonyo Toa, growing up, what did you want to be in life? And what was the journey like for Mr. Toa?
Yeah, you know, my father is crazy. My father would call us and he would show me the compass. The idea was supposed to be a pilot. You know, the planes would fly over our house and my father would be like, yeah, you're going to be a pilot. But of course, as you grow, you realize that you have so many things that really define you. I was never a sportsman. So I enjoyed a lot of debate and, you know, a lot of indoor activities. And that is, I think, what really drove me into some of the things that I do up to today. Public speaking, the love for debates and really a lot of intellectual discourse and all this stuff. But besides that, I think it's also the fact that I won't lie. I didn't know what I wanted to be.
In recent years, music has become the most important art form in Iceland, and apart from the classical musicians and singers, we have very many well-known pop musicians like Björk, who the whole world has fallen in love with.
My calling was folk music. I've been a folk artist, and that is what I'm still doing. I started by being an apprentice of the late Dr. Albert Sempeke.
Welcome to the CEO Bench. My name is Edio Kela. On this very particular afternoon or morning or evening, depending on which part of the world that you are in at the moment, we're in a lockdown situation, 42 days of UG lockdown. Crystal, how is it?
As if.
It looks like we are going to go into some full-blown stuff. We're not yet sure, but welcome to the CEO Bench.
Thank you for having me.
Yes, and how have you been?
I've been good. I've been busy. I've been blessed. Yes, I'm also a little anxious regarding what's going to happen this evening. What our big man is going to tell us. You know, we all sit there like this, like, oh.
For this
So, but yeah, life must go on between all the work that I do, my clients, radio as well, RX radio. Yeah, juggling, working.
It's a very interesting part of you for us to know, and of course we want to take this moment to first of all welcome you to the CEO bench, but to take you straight to, you know, getting to understand and to know you more, juggling too many things, radio, productions, and family, mother. I mean, who is Crystal in a nutshell?
Crystal.
Who are you? What are you?
Well, I'm a mom first, because my children are with me till I die. Yes. Yeah. And then I'm a media personality. I'm a content creator. I am a foodie. I am, oh my gosh, I am a lover of life. And yeah, and I believe I have a great work ethic.
Okay.
So, yeah.
So, Crystal as an individual, are you Ugandan?
Yes, I am. Yes, I am.
Yes, I like that question. So, if you're Ugandan, what are the values that define you as Ugandan, Crystal?
I love my country. I take every opportunity I have to promote my country, to share the beautiful things we have in our country. And I have a habit where whenever I'm shopping, I'm always checking labels. Always checking labels. And that person, yes, they're like, oh, you know, there's this new product. I'm like, is it made in Uganda? So unless it's something that is not made here, yeah, chances are I'm going to try to, you know, support and promote this beautiful country.
Okay, I want to take you to something a little bit more personal right now. You know, Crystal as a child growing up, you know, tell me more about your family background and which part of this beautiful country do you come from? And, you know, some people think that you are Mzungu.
No! No!
Because of your skin tone, and so many people say, no, she's not here, you know, the parents live abroad, we don't know. So before you came to the show, we posted about you, and a lot of people were asking questions, just you know, laughing and seeing all these questions coming from all over the place. Some Ugandans don't even know that you're Ugandan, they think you're an Afghans. And so who is Crystal in that light?
Well, thank you. I am Ugandan. I keep saying that. My father is a Ugandan. His name is Newman, which I know throws everyone off.
Yes.
But his grandfather gave him that name, but we're from Ibanda district. So that is home from my dad. My mom is Ugandan too, except she's half English, half Muganda. So yes, even though maybe I sound a little different, I'm a bit, what do they say, brown?
No, really not brown. Yes. You are really...
Just a calito. So I grew up in Zambia. My dad was an airline pilot. He was working for Zambia Airways at the time, and because of the political insecurity, like before I was born, I guess, the family had to leave Uganda very early. So my first years, I was born in Nairobi, then I grew up in Zambia. Then when things started to calm down, we came back as a family. So we came back, I went to Buganda Road Primary School, then I went to Makerere College School, which was one of those schools that was very creative. And I grew up here. After that, I went to Makerere University. I did mass communication, majored in broadcasting, and I've worked in the media ever since.
Wow. 20 years of your life has been in the media, and if I'm not mistaken, and a lot of people don't quite understand how that works, and somebody staying in one place for that long and wondering, okay, and then all of a sudden after 2 decades, Crystal say, all right guys, it's enough, I'm out of this place, see you guys, I'm going to do something else. But a little earlier than that, you started doing something. And what was the turnaround time of your life from a personal point of leadership? if you take that through, that you realize I need to move from this point A to point B. I'm talking about leadership at personal level, but before you dive into it, I want you to define what is leadership to you.
Well, leadership is, number one, walking the talk. I think there are too many people who talk the talk, but not enough people walk the talk. So you have to be a leader. Leadership has to be seen. It has to be felt. It's something you have to learn from. Leadership is being responsible for, your actions, your decisions, being able to back them up, being able to see other people's strengths, to bring out the best in your team, your family, your friends. That's leadership. You have to be able to identify people's unique talents, unique gifts, and bring out the best in them. To me, that's what I think of leadership.
Okay. So, Chris, this show is about leadership development, personal leadership development, change management, and transformation. You have defined leadership. The question is, are you a leader yourself?
I do think so. I believe so.
What kind of leader are you?
What kind of leader am I? I'm that leader who I feel walks the talk. Walks the talk. I do try to bring out the best in others. On this journey of leadership, you have to understand what your strengths are and your weaknesses are. I realized over time that I was able to connect with people in a different way. And everywhere I've worked, I've been able to either lift people's spirits up, or say, oh, you seem to be really good at this, why don't you try that? And I'm also very good at problem solving, very, very quick at problem solving. So I feel I'm the kind of leader who makes a team feel good about what they do. And I want to believe that people leave after working with me better than when they came in.
Wow. So there are 5 different types of leadership that we have. I'm a leadership coach, and I want to just bring to you those 5 in this very first part of the show, just to ask you a question to sort of like know which one you use. And I'm going to give you 5 different leadership approaches that are commonly practiced all across the world, and great leaders use them. So there's laissez-faire type of leader and the leadership approach. And I want you to give an example of which leader you think in the world. Sort of like practice that along the way in your own view once you get it. And number 2 is what we call a democratic leader, and there's an example to that as well. And number 3 is what we call autocratic leader, and there's an example to that kind of leader as well. And number 4 is what we call transactional leader. There are many, and I think you will come up with maybe 1 or 2 examples of
I feel like this is an exam.
Yes. And what we call transformative leadership approach. There are 5. Which one of these do you practice? Based on your point of saying, when you work with people, you make them feel good. So by the time they're done with you, they are better than they came in. They're better leaders, they're better people, basically turning leaders or followers into leaders. That's what I get from
Yes,
you.
yes.
So which part of these 5 different type of leadership approaches do Crystal really practice on a day-to-day? If any, which one is your best?
I think at any point in time, you have to tap into a different kind of leadership style, because people are unique. And dealing with people management also means you have to adjust accordingly. So a lot of people do need to be told what to do. They need to be given a plan and guidance, right? There are people who need micromanagement. Then there are the people who are so capable, you can sit back, laissez-faire. You're just like, okay, you understand the brief, you know what to do.
Yes.
I'm going to sit back and wait for results. Then if you have someone who is, lazy, who drags their feet, who doesn't take deadlines seriously, then you're going to need a different style of leadership. So in terms of just saying, what style am I feel like we all tap into different ones, although I like to believe that I'm more of a democratic leader, that style of leadership, because I want everybody on board. They're the people who come out and say, this is what needs to happen. We are going to do it like this, A, B, C, D. But I am like, this is what needs to happen. How do you think we can best make it happen? And in terms of my leadership style, I would say that it kind of covers it. But everything in life is fluid. Everything in life is dynamic. So I've worked to try and work on all those elements, because also being too much of a micromanager,
Yes.
yes. People are like, hello, are you going to just be here over my shoulder the whole time?
Yeah.
So yes, I feel like there are so many different ways that you must tap into different leadership styles.
Okay.
Yes, and it depends on the situation, it depends on the person. And yeah, because I live my life in a way that I feel you keep changing, you keep growing, you keep evolving. So even your leadership style does the same.
Okay. So Krista, you're on the CEO bench. The CEO bench is 1 hour to 1 hour 30 minutes television program that focuses on leadership, focuses on individual leaders, people who are on the journey to the top, and those who are already on the top, and as well as those who are on the top coming down. Because when you're on the top and you're coming down, we want to know, how was it on the top? And if you're going up, we want to know, so what is the journey like going to the top? And we want to look at you from a certain point of reference when you've reached a certain point and you're going up there. And you are one such person right now, you know, leading and moving to the top. From just your journey, if we look at you from Sanyo FM, from the different works, you know, that you've been doing and putting out, and to now starting your own production company, moving forward, by any description, you definitely fit with the bill of being on the CEO bench, and you are nominated by over 25 votes, first of all across, so that's a plus. So the CEO bench looks at such people and what their contributions are in society and community, in their families, individually, as well as, you know, the people they work with. So if you're going up, which is your case right now,
which I believe.
Yes, it is. I think
I'm not up on top. Let's be very clear about that.
Yes, you're on your way to the top. And I want to just take you straight to that question where I say, what has been your personal journey like, starting from, like, let's say growing up? Growing up, did you ever see yourself being where you are today?
I would say yes. I would say yes. I mean, when I was in Zambia, I was very athletic growing up, so maybe early childhood dreams, I thought I was going to be a gymnast. I was into gymnastics. Then I came back to Uganda and I went to Buganda Road and they're like, what is gymnastics? And I'm like, okay.
Yes,
so high jump, long jump, I did other things. But from the time I was in Buganda Road, I was in the music productions, I was in dance productions, I was on stage, I was modeling, I was always being picked on, you know, if we have to go and perform for parents or there's a festival, and that happened all through my high school. So I kind of already knew I needed a platform where I would express myself, where I can entertain others. So I always thought I was going to be a television presenter. By the time I got to my O-levels, I was sure I wanted to be a television presenter. My mom said law, I said no. Me, lawyer, no, not happening. Books for the rest of my life, not happening. So yeah, so I did mass communication at that point, thinking television was it for me. I ended up in radio. Not planning to be in radio, but I ended up in radio. But at every point of the way, because like you said, people felt I made this major life change when I left radio. And people said I'd retired from radio. But radio was only one thing of many things I was doing. And I keep saying that's the thing. I started doing radio, then I started doing TV, and I started hosting events. I was also doing public relations. Then at some point I became a beauty queen. I represented Uganda's Mrs. Uganda at Mrs. World pageant. So I feel like every step of the way, I was never in this one straight path. So my growth as a leader has been stepping out and trying many different things and learning every step of the way. Learning from all the people I interact with.
That said, Crystal, I want to just take you through to my next question in that regard. We're still talking about growing up. Growing up not from just as a child, but now growing up into the steps that you're going, where you've reached. You've talked about many things that you've been up to. And I want to ask you a question. What excites you right now very much at this level of the journey that you're in?
Ooh, what excites me? what excites me is seeing so many people I interact with grow and achieve different things. In this journey, I have a show, Crystal One-on-One, as you know, on YouTube. And so many of the people that I have sat down and interviewed soon after my show are placed in different positions or get certain jobs and gigs, and I'm like, yay! Because I feel like, you know, recognizing that potential in someone, putting it on a stage or a platform like mine, and someone else recognizes it and they help that person grow, that's what excites me. I am excited about trying new things. In terms of my personal growth, for the longest time, and I think every one of us goes through it, you're like, I'm good at this, I'm good at that, I'm good at this, but I'm not good at that. So you stay away from the things you're not good at. And a couple of years ago, I made the decision to just take on new challenges. I've talked about it a lot, where I was like, just do. I just said, no, Crystal, I started the year, I'm like, from this point on, I'm not going to say, but I don't know, can I really? Just do. And ever since then, so much has happened that has been amazing, and I'm learning what I'm capable of. And again, recognizing that I'm a problem solver, I'm very good at problem solving, I can bring that to being able to do things.
Okay. Crystal, a lot of people see you as a person on the ladder, growing, and they do not know what you're looking for in life. Yes. Because they just see you. I mean, it's a typical example. I see Crystal, you see me, we're busy, we're there, but all of us are looking for something in life, and we want to be somewhere. We have certain aspirations that we're, you know, striving towards to make it and to get there. So, looking forward to you in your new assignment right now as the founder and the content creator of your own company going forward. I want to know from you, and you've been working with Sheraton, we see you a little bit doing some stuff with Sheraton. Sometimes somebody sent me a message, says, is Crystal going to be a chef at Sheraton? Can you ask her if she's going to do? And what day show we can come and we can enjoy? I'm like, well, I'm not sure whether you understand whether she's going to be a chef or something. But yeah, so question is, what are you looking for in this new assignment of content creator for television?
Okay. Well, when you say new, I've been doing this. Okay, Crystal Newman Productions is about 2-3 years old.
Yes.
So to me, it's not so new. It's not so new.
Yeah.
But again,
new in the sense that you had 20 years of radio, so anybody expected
so
you to
content,
new
creation.
Crystal Radio, Crystal FM. We're waiting for Crystal FM or something like that.
No, but you know, it's funny that that's what I used to hear for the longest time. People are like, why don't you start your own radio station?
Yes.
I'm like, why do you assume that's my dream? Too many people assume what your dreams are.
Yes.
And again, I do not like to be boxed in any way. That's why people are like, are you a chef? I'm like, well, I'm not a trained chef, but I love food.
Yes.
So because I love food, I share my joy and I share my cooking. Okay. So I have Crystal's Bites. People are like, oh, you know, you're the Oprah of Uganda. I'm like, wow, that's a huge compliment. But at the end of the day, I just love listening to people's stories and sharing people's stories. Because I learn as well as my guests. Then when it comes to being a TV presenter, it comes to being a producer, I'm also enjoying that journey. So I feel like I do not want to be boxed in, and so many people are boxed in, and I'm also one of those people who is against titles.
Okay.
Because people like titles, and titles again to me are restrictive. So I'm always, you know, trying new things. Again, but it takes you back to just do. That is really where I'm heading. So right now, I'm working at the first online radio station in Uganda, which is RX Radio. A lot of people are like, oh my gosh, that's different, that's new. I'm like, yeah, another challenge. We can make
not as
work.
much as it would be the other side,
Because I did that. And I'm looking for challenges now. Challenges that will push me in different directions. And if along the way, I mean, I learn about more of my gifts, because I believe I've been granted quite a few gifts and I'm thankful for them. I would try to stretch my potential as much as possible. So content creation, how I go about it is I share a lot of my life. It's not staged, it's not artificial, because there are people who, you talked about, like I'm working with Sheraton, I work with very many different clients, but every client I work with, it has to be genuine. It has to be something that fits into my lifestyle and something that people say, yeah, actually, that's for real. Because there are too many people who are like, yeah, I can do this, I can do that. But does it apply to you? Is it who you are? Does it make sense? Because I worked very hard to build my brand.
Yeah.
Whatever I work with has to be in line with my brand.
Wow. Crystal, on that note, the first part of the show, which is leadership, is what we've been talking about. All of that journey you've been talking about is a leadership journey. If you don't have a leadership approach that leads you to the next level, then it's going to be difficult for you to lead yourself to make from point A to point B, and to go into the change management that we're going to be talking about in a bit when we come back from the break. But I want to ask you a question on the leadership journey. I want to ask you, on that note of all the things that you have talked about, if we were to ask you what your understanding of leadership at the personal level, family level, society level, corporations where you have been, as well as the national level, what would it look like from a Crystal perspective?
I think leadership in every one of those spaces is about growth. It's about impact on others. What kind of impact do you have on your family, in the corporation you're in, within your friends? What kind of impact? What kind of growth are you having on a personal level? And I like that you talk about leadership of self. I think I mentioned work ethic. And this is because of my experiences with so many other individuals. Many people don't take their work ethic seriously. And as a result, the work that they put out speaks, volumes. So you must respect yourself before you can respect others. That is something we learn along the way. You must take your word seriously. You must take your commitments seriously. And that is something that, spreads out. So at the end of the day, like I said before, people are fixated with titles. I mean, we can even have front desk managers right now.
We actually have them right now, yeah.
But at the end of the day, your work should speak for you. Whether it is your work and relationships in a home environment, in a corporate environment, your work should speak for you. That is what will tell your story.
Wow. Well, Crystal, we're going to take a break, and when we come back, we'll be talking about change management. And we wanted to understand the foray into your new life now, from the radio to another radio, to television, to another television, to producer, to director, to Crystal Newman, Productions, which is now the baby of 2.5 years, if I'm meant to know. Whose product, that's just legalization.
And again, one of many things I'm doing.
Yes, exactly. But it's changing life. We want to know what has been the journey like as a person going on the top. So, welcome to the CEO Bench. I'm sure you're enjoying already. We're going for a break, and when we come back, Crystal will be telling us more about change management. This is the CEO Bench.
Led by a lion, will beat an army of sheep led by a lion will beat an army of lions led by a sheep. That's a fake. So let's be very honest about this thing, and really understand that you need to understand where you lie and where you fall. So it's very important for us to understand that leadership has to be definitive. You can't be laissez-faire. It has to be definitive. You have to be strong, just like a lion. When a lion meets an elephant or a buffalo or whatever, the buffalo and all these animals run away. And yet, by the way, they are stronger than the lion. They are heavier than the lion. They are more intelligent than the lion. They are taller than the lion. They run away. The lion, because of its attitude, it sees lunch. That is a leader.
Mr. Tenetra, thank you very much for coming to the CEO Bench. And I want to ask you, so if you were elected the President of the Republic of Uganda today, what would be your first State of Nation address now, as you look into the camera and close the show?
I think my first State of the Nation address would first of all to I think I'll just close it there.
In recent years, music has become the most important art form in Iceland, and apart from the classical musicians and singers, we have very many well-known pop musicians like Björk, who the whole world has fallen in love with.
My calling was folk music. I've been a folk artist, and that is what I'm still doing. I started by being an apprentice of the late Dr. Albert Sempeke.
It's a CEO bench, so usually people want to assume that all CEOs are over-learned and stuff like that. So I will change the script this time around. I consider myself a certified hustler.
If I'm looking to know who you are you Ugandan? If yes, what are the values that define you as Ugandan?
That's the easiest question, I think, to answer. I am a typical Lao man from a rooted north, in a place called Ogur, and where I will be laid to rest is in a village called Agweng. So if you go there and you just say Otoa Tony, they won't really know me because my father is also Otoa Tony. You have to ask for Junior, and when you're asking, you have to ask with an accent. Junior Tikwene, where is Junior? And they will identify me. But I'm typically Ugandan, only Ugandan, from Lira. I pride myself from being from Lira. Earlier on, I was joking and saying I'm the coolest Lago south of Karuma. When you cross Karuma, there are so many. But when you're down the south after Karuma, I think I'm number one.
Welcome back from that break. My name is Edio Killer, and in the studio is Kristo Newman, who is the founder and the content creator of Kristo Newman Productions. Many things there. Kristo One-on-One, Kristo Bites, Kristo, tourism, Kristo Hotel, Kristo Cooking, Kristo, she's... Welcome back to the show. So I'm giving you more, so that because I know you're going to produce many of these things anyway, and you're already doing it. But welcome back to the show, Kristo.
Thank you.
And to all of you guys who are joining us from wherever you are joining us all across the world, thank you very much. I think Kristo is here already, and we're going to have a great discussion with Kristo going forward. We're diving into change management, and if you've been following, please send us your kisses and disses, please. And we'll be able to respond. Make sure you don't hit the glass house very much. By kisses and disses, I mean please kiss if we're doing very well, diss if we're not doing very well. It's all allowed in the CEO bench, and that's what makes a CEO great. Kristo just told us you don't get thrown out of, off balance because your staff is not being good, but you're supposed to be greater with your staff, or making your staff look what? Greater? Because it said that if your staff is not greater than you, then you're not doing a good job.
Yes. If the people around you, the people you're working with, are not
Exactly.
growing and getting better and learning something new, then you as a leader, you're failing.
Yes. Kristo, on that note, I am a transformational leadership coach. And I've been practicing this for a very long time. And I train a lot of executive people. Along the way, I found out that I wrote this a few years ago when I was designing a course for some of the universities here, leadership at diploma level, advanced diploma level. And one of the things I found out is that there are 5 types of leadership approaches, which we discussed already before. And one of the studies that we did along the way was looking at George W. Bush when he was a president at the time, the former president of the United States. So I asked students of these 5 different type of leadership approaches, which one did you think that Bush was really practicing well? And 85% of them said Bush was a laissez-faire leader. And then, so laissez-faire leader is a leader who leaves everything to everyone, but forgets that at the end of the day, you will be held responsible.
You'll be held accountable.
And responsible and accountable for your actions or whatever action your team has made. And I saw that in his book later on when he said, he sort of like talked about Dick Cheney, who was his person, and what happened. He says the decision to go to Iraq wasn't okay. I was, not given the right information. Cole Powell, I think, remained, as we call it in Uganda, And I found that a very classic example of a laissez-faire leader. So it means that a leader, if left and does not sort of like take care of the responsibility given to him as a leader at that point, he will still end up in a wrong path. Yes. Then I picked on transformative leadership approach, which is a leadership approach that looks at the change in a person as an individual. And that change in a person as an individual should cause change first in you, and then in social systems of a nation or a society, whatever it is, or whichever classification we're talking about, as well as turning followers into leaders, which you've talked about. Now, on that note, when you're managing change, you need to fuse all of this.
Yes.
At some point, you want to be an autocratic leader who just dictates. But we all know that autocratic leadership has its own space and time. And when the time comes, it's a militaristic approach to things where you order. Yes, you do this. If you don't do this, I will do this. They will do it and give you results very quickly. But along the way, it will break. And when it breaks, it has a very disastrous end. We have seen that as well. That said, when managing change, you have to use all of those 5 different leadership approaches.
Yes.
Crystal, moving from one place to the next, for Crystal, was a huge journey.
I guess.
Yes. 20 years of radio.
I know.
I mean, you were there for 20 years. Who leaves a job of 20 years? You are a senior, you are everything. Obviously, we expected you to become the next MD. Usually, you grow up in space, become next MD or general manager. Before you know it, and you will CEO.
Those are those expectations.
Yes.
Are they my dreams or yours?
Yes.
Yes.
So, yes, because the society demand that. How was it different for Crystal going forward?
Okay. Well, I was on radio for 18 years. Left for what?
Plus your live days, so make it 20.
Yeah. And then I'm back on radio now.
Yes.
On radio, but in a very different environment and style. For me, again, I will say, because I trained very many of the personalities and radio presenters that went through San FM. And while I trained them, I told each and every one of them, this cannot be the only thing you're doing. That's what I'll tell everyone. Learn, become good at this, but it cannot be the only thing you're doing. So I've always carried myself that way. Even though I was in radio for all that time, again, I was doing so many other things. So change was a constant. I think what holds so many of us back is, of course, fear. And maybe just not trusting yourself enough to, can I really do this? Can I really do that? So I always find it interesting when I have these conversations with people like, oh, Krista, you made this huge change. And to me, I'm like, oh, it was just another step. The way I look at it, I'm like, just another step in my journey. Was it some fear when I was leaving? I'm like, yes, there was definitely fear. But again, you have to trust yourself. And failure is part of this journey, And I think that's the thing, especially when you said now people are looking at you, you made a name for yourself, they've put you up on some pedestal. People put me up on a pedestal, I'm like, can I please come back down? It's nice to be down there. Why am I on a pedestal? Yes. I mean, I'm just a human being like everybody else. So change has been every step of the way for me. But it just got to a point where I had to make some bigger decisions that maybe shook the foundation of what people saw me as. So it's just been a journey of let me do this, and let me try that, and let me try that, and let me try this. So that's why why you'll see me doing so many different things. I mean, once in a while I'll have a little bit of fun and sing a little bit, and people are like, oh my God, Crystal, you should be a singer. I'm like, no, that's not my path. It's not my path. But I mean, you just have to take change as it comes. We fight change, we're so scared of change, but it is part of life. Our bodies change, our faces change. I wish I looked like I did when I was 18, but I don't. Yes. I mean, yes, you may lose a job instead of leave a job. You may lose your business may grow. You may suck at something, and then you write it down and say, yeah, I am not good at this. Maybe I should try that. So it's just part of the process, I should say, and accepting it and then dealing with it. Because a lot of life is about how we react to the things. You know, yes.
Wow. Crystal, on that note, what is your understanding of change management, and which principles do you always apply when moving out, if at all? And how do you communicate as well as manage the process of where you are going when you land? Most people land in the next place and people say, she has come, I'm leaving. Then
what?
Yes. And then some people come and says, oh, thank God we have a new manager. Oh God, I was about to leave this job, now I'm staying. So it requires that change is communicated. Prepare people mentally, prepare people emotionally, not really very much financially, but also you need to prepare them financially by extension, that you tell them that, look, when I leave, things might change here. So if you don't put your financial position in order, you're definitely likely to have a problem. Your understanding of that, and how have you been managed to communicate this change? If you have communicated, what did you communicate to them?
Okay, I love that you talk about communication, because two things are core to success. Whether it's personal development or business or career, one is customer care. Every one of us is responsible for customer care. Even if it's your own colleagues at work, how you relate with other people is customer care. How you handle these interpersonal relationships. Number two, communication and effective communication. We hear so much about effective communication. We talk a lot about communication, but from my experience, I understand communication comes first with listening. You have to listen. If it's a matter of communicating something new to your team, you can, present whatever new information is there, and then you get feedback, you see, because too many people feel communication is a one-way street, and then it's not effective because you don't come away learning something new. So in every step of the way, I really try to listen and learn from whoever I interact with. Listening is, I feel like, a superpower. A good listener, it gives you an edge because you see so much more. And right now we're also talking about emotional intelligence. Emotional intelligence is not just words. It comes from observation. Sometimes you pick up on the feelings of the people around you. And I feel that's one of the gifts that I have as well. So every step of the way, yes, communication is so important. Those relationships, your own customer care systems regarding whoever you're dealing with, whether it's someone senior to you or whether someone junior to you. Every person deserves, again, respect, and it starts with respect for self. If you respect yourself, then you respect others. And if you are going to communicate, be open to hearing what other people have to say.
Wow. Crystal, that said, let's take you back a little bit to leaving Sanyu FM, rather. Leaving Sanyu FM after 18 years or so of you working there. How did you arrive at the decision that now I have to go and I'm going to start doing A, B, C, D? Many of us are stuck in the job. We don't know how to leave, when to leave, or when to let go. Sometimes we have outgrown the organization, or the organization have outgrown us, and we don't know, or we're no longer adding value to the organization, but we are stuck because we don't know where to start from when we leave, or what to do when we move. So this show is about bringing people like you onto the show to talk about change management and the journey of that change and how you manage it from a personal perspective, that giving the viewer an insight into your decision-making process so they can learn a thing or two from you.
Well, I guess it comes down to, you have to challenge yourself in other ways. You said people get stuck in a job doing just the one thing.
Yeah.
And that's because they're comfortable. That's because that's the only thing they want to do. But, as I said before, life happens, change comes our way, and we have to adjust accordingly. You cannot be static for any amount of time in your life. Things will always change. So yeah, for me, leaving SAMU was just about a matter of knowing I needed my time. There was so much more I was doing. There was so much more I could do. And one of my biggest issues was I did not have the time. Because even though my show was just a few hours long, Monday to Saturday, 6 days a week, I had to be in one place at a certain time, right? Or a certain period of time. And that meant there's so many other things I couldn't do. So number one, it was understanding I had all these opportunities that were lining up in front of me, and I had to turn so many of them down because of this commitment I had. Number two, realizing I wanted a change in my life. How did I know? I just knew. I can't tell you. Some terrible, terrible thing happened. Of course, I will not lie, it was a very toxic work environment, but I had been there for years. I understood how to navigate it. That wasn't a problem. But it was just time for me. I knew it was time for me to move on. I knew it was time for me to do something different. And I knew it was time for me to take back control of my time. I think that was the most motivating thing. Okay. I needed to take control of my time and use it for myself and my development, and that's what I'm doing.
Wow. Crystal, we're going to take a break, and when we come back, we will ask you 2 more questions about change management and dive into transformation as we bring the show to a close. And we want to say thank you very much for all those people who are watching from all across the world. We want to hear from you. What questions do you have for Crystal? If at all you have one, please share it on the comment section or send us a message or email. We'll definitely reach out to Crystal and make sure that Crystal responds to you, or she can even respond to you right now. And we encourage all of you guys who don't have really time to write right now, or you want to reach out to ask a question which is a little bit more private on understanding how you can change your journey, that's also open for you. The CEO Bench will be right back after the break. Wow. Well, now
it's a CEO bench, so usually people want to assume that all CEOs are over-learned and stuff like that. So I will change the script this time around. I consider myself a certified hustler.
If I'm looking to know who you are you Ugandan? If yes, what are the values that define you as Ugandan?
That's the easiest question, I think, to answer. I am a typical Lao man from Erute North, in a place called Ogur, and where I will be laid to rest is in a village called Agweng. So if you go there and you just say Otoa Tony, they won't really know me because my father is also Otoa Tony. You have to ask for Junior, and when you're asking, you have to ask with an accent. Junior Tikwene, where is Junior? And they will identify me. But I'm typically Ugandan, only Ugandan, from Lira. I pride myself from being from Lira. Earlier on, I was joking and saying I'm the coolest Lago south of Karuma. When you cross Karuma, there are so many. But when you're down the south after Karuma, I think I'm number 1.
Wow. Well, now that you know Tony Otoa is Ugandan, and of course, what are the values that define you as a Ugandan?
I think it's the love for country, love for nation. You know, truth be told, the country is in a lot of, it's a crisis. Leadership crisis, economic crisis, social crisis. There's so many mismatching areas. But at the end of the day, it's home. You know, you cannot run and abandon your home because of the issues in your home. I think that then creates an opportunity for you to do something to change what's happening and what you see as a crisis. So in terms of what I see as a value, or what I take out of that for me, I think is just the love for country, the need to serve country the best way I can. And I mean, I can't say I can change everything, but the little I can do to create a difference, I think is more meaningful.
Wow. Yeah. Welcome back to the CEO Bench. My name is Edio Killer, and in the studio is Crystal Newman, who is the content creator for Crystal Newman Productions. Many things in there. You have a TV program, reach out to Crystal, and you will definitely, have your content out. Not so? Welcome back to the show, Crystal. We want to take you straight to my next question here on change management, which is, not everyone, again, find it very easy.
I understand.
To make that decision. Some have been offered the opportunity to grow in that place. But if they leave the organization and start something new, they're definitely going to be earning even a little bit more money, time that they'll get on their hand, or whatever they want to do, to be able to do as much or as many things as possible, their personal development, growth, and so on and so forth. Now, the secret of that is not found in everyone. If you are offered a job at Sanyo FM at the time you have made a decision to leave, would you have left?
What do you mean?
If you are offered the job
Something
to say,
more.
yeah, to say, Crystal, you are now the next MD, because I think the program manager would have been very small for you.
I had already been the program director.
Yes. So if they say you stay, no, it won't make sense. Assuming you are given a job to stay there as, an MD, what would be your story like today?
Would have been a no.
Why no?
Because again, what I'm saying about the expectations, people project their dreams and expectations on you. People are like, next step for you is you're going to be the managing director, and then, you're going to own your own radio station. And I'm like, what makes you think radio is the only thing I want to do? Because I'm passionate about TV, I'm passionate about people, I'm passionate about conversations, I'm passionate about food. So many different things. So again, I don't like to be boxed into one place.
Yes.
I did say it was a very toxic work environment.
Yeah.
I had gotten to a point where I was using my own resources to develop my show, my features. So things like my YouTube channel, that was all me. It was my own money that I was investing to film and get that content. Getting all the guests to come in and perform, and all these different things I did on the show were all personal endeavors, and in some cases my own financial investment on a personal level. So it also got to a point where I wanted to do so much more, and if you're in an organization, you have to work together. If you find that you are trying to develop and you're on a trajectory towards something, and the organization you're in is not willing to do anything extra to get you there, and you are now going over and above to do it yourself, I guess for me it was easier to make that change. Because I knew what I had done on an individual level to get my show to where it was, and to get my brand and my personality as a radio presenter to where I was.
Wow. So, Crystal, would you say classic example of it that you had outgrown the organization, or the organization had outgrown you?
Absolutely.
At what point did you realize
now,
it? Yes.
Now I know. Now I know. At the time, I was like, it's time for a change. Time for me to do different things, and I need my time back. Because I'm a mom. I have to say that again. Starting with all of this, I'm a mother of 3 children. And I just realized that I needed my time back with my children. Because I used to work Saturdays. So I missed birthday parties, I missed baptisms, I missed weddings, and so many things, even around family. And I had to say, no, I'm making a change even in my personal life, where certain things are now more of a priority. At some point, there was communication going out that staff could not take leave during Easter or Christmas holidays. How does that work for family people? Yeah, so there's certain things that made it easy for me to make the decision.
Wow. Well, Crystal, just to take you on this little bit of a journey for a person who doesn't know how to make such a decision like you did. And if you would share with us what were your secrets to those who find themselves stuck in a place like that and don't know what to do, and how long should they take to make a decision?
Well, I guess it's different for everyone.
Yes.
But the first thing is, don't do just one thing. I don't know how many times I have to say this.
Yes.
We are blessed as people with
Yes.
so many gifts, and
Yes.
you will never know unless you try.
Yeah.
So you cannot do just one thing. Do not allow other people's definition of you define you.
Wow.
Yeah, because too many people say, oh, you are this, and because you're so good at this, you have to be that.
Yes, yeah.
And you can do so much more. So I am not saying just wake up and quit your job, because that doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
You must plan,
Yeah.
you must prepare.
Yeah.
I had taken the steps I needed to take. Even though I didn't know it at the time, I was just doing.
I do something. I want to.
So I was trying different things.
There's a brand that has a tagline, just do it. I think it's Nike or one of us says, yes, just
mine
do
is
it.
just do.
Yes, just do. Yes.
But I had taken those steps. I
Yeah.
was laying the foundation so
Okay.
that when I went out there,
Yeah.
I had something to jump, because I felt like I had my little steps. I could jump from here to there, and that's what I want my life to be about.
Wow.
And my brand to be about.
Wow.
I'm constantly changing. I'm not just one thing.
Yeah.
So everyone is capable of more. Every single one of us.
Okay. Well, you've heard it from Crystal that every one of us is capable of more, and don't get yourself stuck in just one place. It's okay for you to do as many things as possible. It's okay for you to be more agile, to be more actually flexible in trying to do. Flexibility is the range of motion a muscle is able to perform at a certain given time.
In every aspect. I like that word, flexibility.
Yeah, flexibility is very important. In fact, in health and fitness, we say if a person is not flexible, then their muscles cannot move, then they will never be able to get results in life.
Yeah.
Yes, so we say flexibility is a range of motions that a muscle is able to perform either on a static a position or moving position. In other words, if you're working out and you're not able to turn around quickly to do 3 things in one go, you are never going to get your fitness in order. You're always not going to be healthy. And there's a huge difference between being healthy and being fit.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, so most people are either healthy or not, or unfit, or very fit and very unhealthy, which means being healthy and being fit are totally 2 different things. Being healthy means that you are able to go for a longer period of time without falling sick or being disturbed by any disease at all. And being fit is the ability of a human being to go for a longer period of time, or rather a distance, without getting tired. So for example, if you decide to say, Chris, I'm going to walk all the way from Kampala to Entebbe today and back, you will be able to do that. That's 45 kilometers walk, and then you have to walk back. So if you walk from here to Entebbe and get there and you're okay, and not walk there and say, oh, the legs are swollen, she's gone, I mean, we have to just lift her straight to the hospital, then we say it's a problem. So many of us are not flexible in our jobs, in our employment, and we find ourselves stuck and we become sick, and in that process we die.
Yeah.
Real losing life. Crystal, thank you very much for coming to the show. Now we're going to the transformation. The transformation of a person is very important, of a community is very important. We want to start from the transformation of Crystal as a person. You've transformed yourself quite rapidly.
Really?
Yes, to owning a company and becoming a production house that a formidable one that somebody can rely on, dependable, and we can see 5 years of Crystal one-on-ones, all those episodes. Tell us about
Weekly
it.
basis.
Yes.
I don't know how I do it. I've had people on TV production saying, but
Yes.
so how do you do it?
Yeah.
Again, it's because my focus is on doing the work. I
Yeah.
think we forget that sometimes.
Yeah.
You know, they say eye on the prize, eye on the ball. I focus on doing the work because I feel if you do the work, your work will speak for you. If you do the work consistently, your work ethic will speak for you.
Yeah.
If you meet your obligations and you go over and above for your clients, then that will build your relationships for you.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's been
Yes.
that.
So I want to ask you, so what does transformation really mean to you from a Crystal one-on-one perspective?
Transformation to me is growth. Again, we grow in so many ways. We grow in our relationships, we grow in our careers, we grow in business, and we grow in terms of our personal relationships with ourselves.
Yeah.
So transformation, it doesn't mean you have to completely change, go from white to black. I feel like transformation can be white, slightly gray, a little more gray, full gray, you know, you find your way. Transformation is in terms of how you gift yourself, how you take care of yourself, because also if you start with respect, you start with respecting your commitments to others, then, you know, that will transform the people around you. It will transform your friends, it will transform your family. So transformation, again, starts with yourself, and also viewing yourself as someone who's able to be flexible.
Wow.
Because if you're flexible, I mean, yes. So transformation, I feel I am a work in progress. Thank you for saying I've transformed over time.
Yes.
Again, I'm still just pushing myself, taking on challenges, and yeah.
Because why I ask you that question? Because a lot of people are in the media, and in the media space, a lot of people have left their jobs at their morning radio program or afternoon. You are doing drive, and coming out of there, they tend to do the same thing, but from this side, and it doesn't work. And then they get frustrated, and then you see so many people running around, and they're everywhere, and before we know it, says I'm frustrated. And I'm saying, but we thought that by leaving the job, you're meant to transform yourself, and that transformation should be able to transcend down to the people around you, to your family first, to the people around you, to the community, to the nation. And the transformation must have measurable metrics, quantifiable, justifiable, measurable metrics, that you can touch it and feel it and see it. On that note, Crystal, do you think that as you grow to becoming the CEO in the future, as you would like to call it, do you think that your work is causing impact in society, and how do you measure it?
Oh my gosh, I believe so. Absolutely, I believe so. It's not only my interactions, it's a lot of what I've been able to do is based on the networks that I have made and the relationships I have made over the years, which is why I'm able to do so much more and work with so many different clients. Because I like what you said, you know, sometimes people will leave TV and the only thing they'll do after that is TV, right? Or whether it's behind the camera, in front of the camera. And I feel that the relationships I have with so many different people have allowed me to do more than what I was doing before. So it's been a very, very interesting journey, I will say. And I feel, you know, life, we can't just be here and just say, oh, this is what I am. I mean, you never know if you're here tomorrow or not. I think, especially with COVID-19 now, that's becoming very clear. Yes, we have to keep changing, moving, and for me, it's also not getting too comfortable. It's easy as human beings to get comfortable, especially when things are good. Especially when things are good, and especially if you listen to other people who are telling you that you've made it, telling you that you're up there, telling you that you're all that. Humility is such an important thing in life.
Wow.
Yes.
That's one thing we get from you very clearly. And well, Crystal, our time is fast spent, but I'm going to take you through to 2021. What is the best thing that has happened to you in this year?
The year is
so
not
far
done.
The year
is not done.
We're in the middle of the year, new financial year, new everything. 2020 was a different year altogether. It started from March, and the tendency of, you know, seeing ourselves in 2021, a little bit of 2020 repeating itself, given the COVID-19 situation all across the world. So it is just befitting to ask, what is the best thing that so far has happened to you in 2021?
Okay, the best thing. It's so hard to pick because there's so many good things.
Crystal 101 is one of the things. Crystal Bites is 101,
but
yes.
Crystal one-on-one I've been doing for a long time, and I'm still having beautiful conversations. But the fact that I'm also able to have beautiful conversations on RX Radio. I do The Groove, which is like a drive time show, and I have a feature called The Groove Cafe. And now I'm having conversations with people who are in education, people who are in the beauty industry, teachers, students, podcasters, farmers, scientists, and having all these amazing conversations on the Groove Cafe, which is on RX Radio. And the fact that it's the first online radio station, and we've had such an amazing response. We reach out to people, they're very happy to come on the show, very happy to give their time. So I would say that one of the best things
that has ever happened to you,
is the learning that I'm getting right now from my guests on RX Radio and all the platforms, really. Just my interactions with other people, because it's such a gift. No, people don't have to sit down with me, talk to me, but yeah, they're gracious enough to give me their time.
Wow. And on that note, Crystal, let's talk about the most important thing that our viewers or followers of the CEO Bench who nominated you should know about Crystal.
You know, I can be goofy too.
Well, we still remember you from the drive days, so really,
life is never that serious.
Yes.
So the question is?
What are the most important thing that our followers of the CEO Bench, those who nominated you to come to the show, to get to know you, to have an insight in what you are doing right now, you know, should be able to know about you going forward?
Well, I guess it's that I like to infuse fun into my life. I'm very passionate about what I do. I'm passionate about everything I do. I'm passionate about people, and I believe that I am still on this journey. There's so much more for me to learn. There's so much more for me to do. Yes, so I am open to change. And I'm open to growth, and that's where I see myself, and it's a good place to be.
All right.
So yeah, please don't put me up on a pedestal. Gotta make that clear.
Yes. All right. So Crystal, as a mother, when you have time in the 18 years, do you ever have time for your husband, for your children? And what was it like? Read stories of ladies who are doing shows, morning or drive shows, that say it was the most difficult thing they've ever had to endure and going through. Some have a very, says, my husband almost left me, my children almost completely forgot about me because I was never there in their life. And so it's, if there's anything I would never do is to go back to their life. My daughter will not do that, my son will not do that. Let's talk about Crystal as we close.
Well, I'm lucky enough to say that when I was doing the breakfast show, for the 4.5 years I did the breakfast show, I was not married at that point. So I don't know the whole leaving that nice warm bed to go to work at 4 o'clock in the morning. Not quite. Yes, I mean, you have to, of course, find time. Yes, there are times when I look back where I'm so busy. I mean, I used to have 3-4 jobs at the same time. So it was go, 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 go the whole day. But the one thing I always tried to do was make my mornings for my children. At least when they were young, from the time they were born to about 5 years old. I thank radio for that flexibility. I could be home in the morning. So I tried as much as possible to make sure my Sundays were family time. And I still do. Sunday is family time.
Wow.
So, you know, it's not so much sometimes about quantity. Sometimes it's about quality.
Wow. Of the time.
Yeah. When you do have time, make it count.
Wow.
Make it special.
Wow. Well, I think we have come to the end of the show, Crystal. And as we go, what would be your 3-point takeaway for whoever has been watching this show, that if they take right now from you, there'll be a different person tomorrow? And you will close by telling us, where do you see Crystal Productions, Crystal Newman Productions, 5 years from now and 50 years from now?
Oh, wow. Okay, 3 things to take away. Respect yourself. If you respect yourself, you respect others. And by respecting yourself, respect your word, respect your commitments. Too many people make promises they don't keep, and then I can't trust you. People can't trust you. Allow yourself to grow, allow yourself to fail, allow yourself to do other things. Don't allow other people to define who you are, to define what your dream is or what path your life has to take. So I guess those things. Remember that you never stop learning. Never ever stop learning, which is what I love about my job. Well, my jobs. The different things I do, I am constantly learning. Yes, and in terms of where I see myself in the next 5 years, of course, it is all up to God.
Yeah.
I will say, hopefully continuing to change lives and share meaningful content.
Wow.
Meaningful content that other people can use and apply to their lives.
Okay.
That's what I'm looking at.
Wow. Thank you very much for coming to the show, Crystal. And fun question as you go. Ladies have been rising up to the occasion of late. Okay, we've got women presidents, a woman president, or women presidents. And yes, about time, and yes. So, assuming today Crystal is elected the president of the Republic of Uganda, what would be your first State of Nation address to the country called Uganda?
Oh my goodness, where would I even begin? Well, because of the the state of the nation right now in terms of COVID-19 and the pandemic,
yes,
I think that health workers would, number one, be given everything they asked for.
Men or women?
I would pull back on security.
Yes.
I would pull back on all the security detail for every important person. I mean, why must every important person have a police patrol?
Yeah.
You're Ugandan, I'm a Ugandan.
Yes.
We all have a right on the road. So, don't get me to that. But yes, all the unnecessary spending, the number of parliamentarians we have, is it necessary?
Yeah.
Can't we do more with less? So I think I would first sit down on that, see how can we do more with less, and who is most deserving for, in terms of how much they're sacrificing for Uganda right now.
Yeah.
Maybe I shouldn't be a president. That's what I would do.
Well, you never know. The days and the hours are ticking faster for women, and we're seeing women rise to the occasion. But thank you very much for coming to the show, and thank you very much for honoring our invitation, and of course for giving your time to the people who nominated you. We know that as of now we have a nomination for you already at about 10 to talk about radio only, for the girls who end up in radio and the situation they go through in radio. Talk to Crystal, bring Crystal back so that we know from her how was she able to manage, because I think a lot of girls who ended up in radio lost a lot, and some of them have lost their direction. So that's why people are beginning to describe you as the the Winnie Oprah of Uganda, or among the great women around the East Africa. So well, when that vote comes, we'll definitely bring you back. Our job is to make sure we bring you and you speak to the people who want you to speak to them. And for now, we want to say thank you very much for coming, and looking forward to your last word as we sign out.
Oh, be blessed, and keep pushing yourself to do more. Never forget to be grateful for your blessings, though.
Wow. It's a wrap from the CEO Bench. Until next week, same time, same place. God bless and stay safe. Don't go with COVID-19.
My name is David Okwi, and I'm the shop manager here at Oduka. Our vision is really to bring technology closer to the people, closer to you, tech that you can afford, tech that lasts, tech that is durable, and tech that you can use to simplify your life. My inspiration behind starting Oduka came from the fact that I've been blogging or writing about tech for the past 10 years, but the stuff that I've been writing about has not been locally available in the market. So what we did is, let's bring this technology to the people. So we really had to start a store, an actual store that you can order today and then have the product delivered to you tomorrow. So currently we launched with mobile accessories. Think a car phone charger, car phone mount, iPhone charger, micro USB, Type-C, charging accessories like this power extension here with 4 ports that you can use to charge your phone, as well as the other ports for appliances. We test our products and make sure that they're up to standard. We vet our suppliers. We don't just get any supplier. Other than the fact that COVID-19 has forced you to sell online, there are very many advantages why you should do that. One of the advantages is the convenience that you're bringing to your customers. Two is that you have a wide market that expands beyond your working clients. We intend to grow, to bring more tech, to bring tech to the everyday user out there, and to bring really good tech. In order to do that, we intend to scale our product categories and to also cement our position as a leader in electronic products.